Kia has made a fatal move that has been called out by the internet following Axel Ruda sentencing. In today's video we will discuss this all whilst going over all of the latest news from across the country, but first hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and join our fast-growing community. Just a quick one to say, we do have new One Care t-shirts available on our website. Go to British.com or check the link in the description. The tragic case of Axel Ruda has sparked a nationwide debate about sentencing laws in the UK. Sentenced on Thursday to a minimum term of 52 years for the brutal murder of 3 innocent girls at a Taylor Swift-themed dance class, Ruda's actions have left the public and political leaders divided on how justice should be served for such heinous crimes. The sentencing judge, who expressed frustration at the limitations of the law, noted that Cabana narrowly escaped a whole life order due to being 9 days short of his 18th birthday. The current legislation, influenced by the UN Convention on the Right of the Child, prevents life imprisonment without the possibility of release for offenders under 18. Despite public outrage and calls for a legal review, Labour leader Keir Starmer, via a Downing Street statement, has rejected the possibility of changing the law to allow exceptions in cases like this, while acknowledging the public's disgust at Cabana's crimes. The statement emphasized the government's adherence to international laws protecting minors from life sentences without parole. The spokesperson said, "First of all, we share the public's disgust at these barbaric crimes and the desire for this vile offender never to be on our streets again." But they added, "We're restricted in our ability to extend whole life orders to under 18s by UN laws, something that the previous government recognized when it changed the law in this area previously on a specific point on whole life orders. That's not something we're looking at." The decision has ignited fierce criticism from across the political spectrum. Robert Jenrich, a prominent Conservative MP, dismissed Starmer's stance as a distraction ploy, arguing that the UK's dualist legal SYST system allows for the selective application of international treaties. Jenrich, along with other MPs and legal experts, has urged the government to explore legislative changes that would enable whole life orders for under 18s in exceptional cases. Southport MP Patrick Hurley and former Director of Public Prosecutions Lord MacDonald have echoed these sentiments, calling for urgent reforms to ensure justice for victims of the most extreme crimes. Families of the victims too have voiced their disappointment, arguing that Ruda's lack of remorse and the severity of his actions warrant the harshest possible punishment. The current debate centers around Article 37 of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, which prohibits life imprisonment without parole for minors. While the UK is bound by this convention, critics argue that exceptions should be made in cases involving extraordinary brutality. The United States, which has not ratified the convention, continues to impose life sentences without parole for juvenile offenders in certain circumstances, providing a stark contrast to the UK's approach. Supporters of reform argue that Ruda's case is a clear example of when exceptions should apply. The nature of his crimes, targeting young girls in a premeditated attack and showing no remorse, has led many to question whether the current system adequately deters or punishes such acts. Another point of contention is the issue of concurrent sentencing. Many believe that offenders like Ruda, who commit multiple murders, should serve consecutive sentences to reflect the gravity of each life taken. Critics argue that concurrent sentencing undermines the value of individual victims' lives and fails to deliver justice to grieving families. As public pressure mounts, the government faces a critical choice: uphold existing laws rooted in international conventions or pursue legislative changes to address exceptional cases. Advocates for reform believe that making allowances for heinous crimes would not undermine the broader protections for juveniles, but would instead send a clear message that society will not tolerate such acts. This case has reignited discussions about broader justice system reforms, including potential debates about reintroducing the death penalty for the most severe crimes. While divisive, these debates highlight the deep dissatisfaction many feel with the current system's ability to deliver justice. The debate over Ruda's sentence raises important questions about the balance between protecting juvenile offenders and delivering justice for victims. Should the law be amended to allow for whole life sentences in exceptional cases, or does adhering to international conventions outweigh the need for change? What do you think of Starmer's statement? Let me know in the comments. In other news, Donald Trump has said he plans to call CIR in the next 24 hours after it emerged the Prime Minister has been waiting for days to speak to the newly inaugurated president. In the first few days of his office, it emerged the 47th U.S. president had already reached out to a Number of global leaders including Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, El Salvador leader Na Buell and Chinese President Xi Jinping but not the British PM. However, Trump has now said he plans to call Starmer, praising him for having done a very good job so far and adding they get along well despite the Labour leader being liberal, which is a little bit different from me. The US president added that Starmer was a good person, and said he represented his country in terms of his philosophy. I may not agree with his philosophy, but I have a very good relationship with him, Trump added. Starmer met with Trump in September at Trump Tower in New York before his election as president the second time around. They have also spoken over the phone twice prior to Trump's inauguration on Friday. The Prime Minister's deputy official spokesman appeared to issue a plea for Trump to call Starmer ahead of an expected visit to Washington. He said the Prime Minister would welcome the opportunity to speak to President Trump at the earliest opportunity, and they had a productive meeting in September and subsequent positive phone calls in recent months, and he looks forward to speaking to him soon. When challenged on whether it was unusual that no phone call had taken place, the deputy official spokesman replied, "I wouldn't accept that characterization." Speaking to reporters on Air Force One, the newly elected president revealed that his first international trip would be either to the UK or Saudi Arabia, which is where he first traveled in his first term. Traditionally it could be UK, he said, although in his last term he traveled to Saudi Arabia because it agreed to buy billions of dollars worth of US merchandise. Trump said, "If that offer were right, I'd do that again." Elon Musk, who has played a big role in Trump's re-election and presidency so far, has been one of the loudest voices against Starmer, and has repeatedly called for him to be replaced. The US president has also spoken to Jordan's King Abdullah on Saturday, where he urged the king to take more Palestinians from Gaza. "I said to him I'd love you to take on more because I'm looking at the whole Gaza Strip right now and it's a mess, it's a real mess. I'd like him to take people." He also said he would like Egypt to take people from Gaza, adding he would speak to President Abdul Fattah Ali on Sunday. Trump called the Strip a demolition site where people are dying, saying, "I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing at a different location where they can maybe live in peace for a change." He also confirmed he has fired 17 independent inspector generals at several government agencies. He said he would put good people in there that will be very good. While inspectors are appointed by the president, they are meant to be nonpartisan, and some have served presidents from to both parties. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. I want to quickly say thank you for all the recent support on the channel. We're growing really fast and are now getting closer to our goal of 200,000 subscribers. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.